Okay, in these problems we're going to be practicing what's called reflecting or reflections. And reflections all involve the addition of a negative sign somewhere in our basic function. But all of this relies again on your knowledge of our basic functions. So let's take a look at part A. Part A has negative 1 over x. Now 1 over x, we already know what that looks like. It's one of our basic functions. What does putting a negative in front of the function do? Well, from the theory in this section, what we realize is that a negative in front of our function reflects it over the x-axis. So we know that this is an x-axis reflection. So if we go to our original basic function that we should know, I'm going to draw that dotted. It's going to look like that. What we want to do is reflect it over the x-axis. That means everything that's above the x-axis here comes down. So it'll look like this. And everything that was down here comes up. Okay? So this solid one, the dark one there, is the sketch of this function. Now for the second one, now what we notice is that the negative sign is not out in front, but it's actually right in front of the x. Whenever we have this, it's a reflection over the y-axis instead. So this means y-axis, reflection. Now if we go again, we take a look at our basic function, which look like this, and reflect it over the y-axis. Let's start with this piece. This piece is going to go like this, so it'll look like that. And this piece will come over like this, so it'll look like this. So this is the graph of this reflection. Now notice that these two reflections actually turn out to be the same. So those two functions look exactly the same. Kind of makes sense because this negative sign could actually be down here or in front. Let's take a look at part C. For part C, I'm going to erase this so we have a little room. First thing we want to do is start out with our knowledge of the basic function. We know the basic function here is the cube root function, and there's a negative in front. Negative in front means x-axis reflection. So let me draw my basic function. Cube root looks like this. Okay? And I'm going to reflect it over the x-axis. So that means this piece will come down, and this piece will come up. So that is the x-axis reflection, and that is the actual graph of this. Now for the last one here, again, our basic function is a cube root, so we know we look like this. But because the negative is inside the function, right in front of the x, this corresponds to a y-axis reflection. And when we have y-axis reflection here, notice this piece is going to get mirrored over like that. This piece will get mirrored over like this. Okay? So again, these two examples just so happens that the reflections turn out to be the same. It won't always be that case. In these two examples they were. But that's just a general summary of your reflections. You could apply these reflections to any of the 7 basic functions.